Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm super excited to be back for another little kind of behind the scenes day in my life video, except for this one isn't really day in my life so much as night in my life. So I was sitting here in my studio kind of workspace area, and I decided that I needed to tear my whole studio apart at like 8 o'clock last night. So the following footage you're going to see, I'm going to take you along the journey as I remake over this little area here. So this is kind of the halfway point. I'm recording my intro kind of after I already started, but I'm going to give you an in-depth look of what I'm going to do with this space. We're going to turn it over, recreate it into something wonderful using products that I already have laying around at home. So I haven't gone out and bought anything extra special for this project. I'm just going to go through my house, see what I can find to improve this space. So let's just jump right into the video. And I do want to remind you though to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because I would love to have you here as a follower, and hit the little bell if you want to be notified every time I post a video. Let's jump right into it. Alright guys, so this is the space I'm working with here. This is where I do most of my laser projects, anything that requires a lot of painting or woodworking things, and it's just kind of a dirty, dull, dreary space, and it's really dated. We bought this house about a year ago, and it was an older couple that lived here, and this was the man's little workshop area, so he kind of had this all set up to be a workshop, so that was perfect. But you know, it's got the old panel board, the old pegboard, and we're just going to see if we can beautify this space a little bit, working with stuff that I already have here at home. I don't want to go out and spend a ton of money on this, so I'm just going to work with everything I already have existing here in my home. So to begin, I'm just going to start removing all the pegboard pieces. The people that used to live here, they were kind enough to leave all the pegboard pieces, so that was great. I'm going to try to reorganize this space a little better and make it a little bit prettier. So I'm going to continue removing everything and clearing all my junk away. Now my studio space is in an unfinished basement, so I have these open exposed ceilings, and he had all these jars mounted there, screwed in. The lids were screwed into the beams and the jars hang down there, so I'm just gonna get these out of my way. And then also I'm not gonna worry about the ceiling and the insulation up there just yet, because you can't really notice that when I'm filming. So I'm just gonna leave the ceiling for now, and it is all painted white, so that's pretty nice. Then I came across this. So this paintbrush was stuck up in the pegboard, the very top row. These were rock hard. I don't even want to know how old these elastics are. They were up along the top edge there, the paintbrush stuck in the hole. Yeah, safe to say those went in the garbage. Next, I pulled out my cordless vac and I just gave it a good dusting. I get a lot of cobwebs and spiders down here. Unfortunately, like I said, it's an unfinished basement, so there's just always cobwebs developing, and I have to constantly vacuum this space. So if anybody has any tips or tricks for keeping spiders and cobwebs out of unfinished basements, I would love to hear those. Please pop those in the comments below and help me out with this, because I feel like it's a never-ending battle. Alright, so now the fun stuff. We're going to give this a fresh coat of paint. So I have this paint in the navy from Dixie Belle. I've had this paint for a long time now. It's been kicking around, and I need to use up some of the paint that I have. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to paint the paneling board with this gorgeous navy color, and I'm just going to give it a quick coat here. Now, I did get a little nervous after I started painting this, because I thought, are you going to have enough paint to finish this? Because like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm just using stuff that I have laying around. I don't want to have to buy anything for this project, so I was a little scared here. To ease my woes, I then decided let's go for a two-tone thing here with the panel board and the pegboard. So I grabbed some painter's tape, and I'm just going to tape off the edge where the panel board meets the pegboard, and then I'm going to paint the pegboard a different color. And because I'm like, I am not going to have enough paint to do this whole area here. And you know what? Little blessings. I'm so glad that I didn't have enough paint, because you're going to see at the end, it's going to turn out so good. So this is me just going with my gut and it working out. Now there was also this weird little 1x2 mounted onto the workbench here. It has holes drilled in the top. I'm not sure if he used this to store his drill bits or something, but I'm just going to leave it there because I don't want to remove it. And then I'm going to come in with this Simplicity from Country Chic Paint, and we're going to paint our pegboard. So I started with a brush, and that was not the right technique, but I'm going to fix that later. But then I quickly realized after putting it on the wall that I did not like it next to the navy blue. I didn't like the navy blue with the stark white. It's just too much, I think. But I'm going to keep going because I've already put it on, and maybe this will just be my primer. I mean, it's kind of an expensive primer to use to waste Country Chic paint, but like I said, and I've said many times throughout this video, I'm going with what I have, and I don't actually have any primer on hand anyways. Use this primer, I guess. Alright, switching over to a roller here, and this is the proper technique for painting pegboard. So I should have started with the roller to begin with, but lazy me, I just didn't want to go and look for it, and then I quickly discovered that doing it with a brush was going to take forever. So when you're painting pegboard, it's always spray paint or a roller. Okay guys, so this is where we're at now. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the white, but I'm going to fix that. And this looks a little like, what the heck are you doing? But I promise you, I have a vision in my head, and it is going to come together beautifully. Okay guys, so we're going to move away from painting the wall for just a minute because I want to add some really cool embellishment to this wall. So I have this piece of MDF that I picked up at Home Hardware quite a while ago. It was on like a clear out rack, and I always grab stuff like that when I'm at Home Depot or Home Hardware just because I know I'm going to use it for something down the road. So I've had this one kicking around for a while. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the in the navy, whatever little bit I have left, and I'm going to paint the MDF just down about 8 inches. That's the width of my design here, and I want to make sure that I paint this before I put it in my laser because I don't want to paint this piece after I take it out of the laser. It's going to be very thin, very fragile, and I found it's just easier to paint your wood or MDF or whatever material you're putting into your laser before you cut it. So you paint it, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to mask it off with a masking tape just to protect the paint from getting any kind of laser burns or charring in it. And this is me saying a quick prayer before I put this in the laser because I have never done a project of this size or magnitude, and I really didn't want to waste this MDF. So hopefully this works the way I think it's going to. So I placed my MDF in the laser, and then I set the origin and the frame just to make sure everything was in place properly, and then we're going to just fire this baby up and let it do its thing. Now, if you're interested in Thunder Laser or you want to know more about this machine, I have a lot of really great videos on my channel. I would start with the unboxing video just to get all the information about the machine, and then check out some of my other projects. It really is an amazing machine, and I love how I have it so that I can just have the ability to do all these fun projects. And also as well, you know, if you wanted to get one of these and start a business, this thing would pay for itself in no time. You can make so many things with it. It's just incredible. So I have a link in the description to Thunder Laser Canada. You can check out their website for more information. All right, so the cut got off to a great start. It was blowing some of the mask off on some of the smaller pieces with the air on, but everything seems to be going according to plan. And then now you can really see my design taking shape here, and it's going smoothly well. Okay, so while that's cutting in the laser, we're going to get back to the wall here. So I found this cut a rug paint that I had from Country Chic Paint in my stash. I do have a lot of country chic paint, yes. My mother and I used to own a store and we used to sell country chic paint, but when we closed the store, we had all this paint stock and now I just get to use it up. So that's why I have so much of this stuff. But I found this color and I think I'm going to go over the pegboard with this. It's like a nice gray and we're just going to tone down this white just a bit because it's just a little bit too much here. It's too stark. And also my plan is to also film in front of this. So if it's white, it's going to be such a stark contrast and it's just going to be really bad when I'm editing if I have this constant white behind me. So we're going to tone her down with this cut a rug and see if we like this any better. Now for the actual workbench, I'm going to be using this No Pain gel stain from Dixie Belle in the shade Walnut just to freshen this up a bit. It's stained and dirty, but you know what guys, I'm not even going to sand this because truth be told, this is a work area and I'm all about being realistic, honestly, I am. And I just don't see the point in sanding it down, staining it when I know I'm just going to paint on this thing again, work on it. And this is where I said I do all my like heavier duty projects, my laser projects, stuff like that. I'm going to get glue on this thing. All kinds of things are going to end up on this workbench. But I do, however, just want to freshen it up a bit and just darken it so it suits the space a little bit more. So I am just going to go over it with this No Pain gel stain. And this is why I love this stuff. So I'm just brushing it on and then I'm wiping it away with a cloth. And it's just super easy to use and it's going to freshen up the space without having to actually, refinish it and make it picture perfect because I'm just not into that when I know I'm just probably going to spill paint on it soon and stuff like that. So then by the time I did all that, my laser was done cutting, so I headed over to see what I got, and honestly, I was so surprised this worked because like I said, I've never done a project like this before, and I was really nervous about the lines and how it was going to cut, but everything turned out perfect, and it's exactly how I envisioned it in my mind. So super happy with that. I peeled off the mask, and then I repeated the process again on my MDF because I needed to do 2 side pieces as well. And then I did want to just segue from the DIY for just a second to talk about my nails. Bear with me here. I did a dip powder manicure this morning. This stuff is supposed to last for 28 days. And I broke like 2 of my nails off. The dip powder gel broke 2 of them off. I don't know how people DIY and craft and have nice nails. I don't know. I don't get it. I can't get a manicure to last more than a day. In this case, it was like 6 hours. Anyway, so my 2 side pieces were done. So I pulled those out and they turned out beautiful as well. And then I decided that I needed a little trim piece in between the pegboard and the panel board where it meets. It was just a little rough. So I had this piece in my stash from a previous project. And then I'm going to literally scrape the bottom of the barrel here and try to get the rest of this paint so that I can finish this trim piece. It is literally slim pickings here, guys, but I did end up stretching it and having just enough to finish this trim piece. So I am going to leave it there. I'm sorry to leave you guys hanging, but you're going to have to come back for part 2 to see me put this whole space together. It's about 10:30 or 11:30 at night at this point. I can't honestly remember and I'm exhausted. So I got to go to bed, but I will be back with part 2. So make sure you subscribe, hit the little notification bell if you want to be notified when I post part 2. You're not going to want to miss me putting this wall back together. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.